The first year of life, I want no parts. There's nothing I could do for that boy. You the mama, you got everything he needs. You're doing everything. When he start walking and moving and grooving, he'll be with me. But until then, you handle that.
When a man becomes a new father, he loses 20 to 30% of his testosterone.
Yes, I've heard that.
And the closer he is to the child, the more involved he is,
The more testosterone he loses. I've heard that. Welcome to the NOIRPOISED podcast, where wisdom is power is more than just a motto.
It's our way of life.
I think I mentioned this in an episode previously about Nelly's comment to Ashanti after they had a baby.
Yeah.
And basically he was like, the first year of life, I want no parts. There's nothing I could do for that boy. You the mama, you got everything he needs. You're doing everything. When he start walking and moving and grooving, he'll be with me. But until then, you handle that.
I honestly felt that way too at first. I mean, I tried to be as involved changing diapers and all that, but that was my mindset. Like
the first time around.
Yeah, the first time around.
I know.
Like,
yeah, it was felt.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was afraid of
everything
messing up. Yeah,
yeah. So I heard that, and obviously he's older than we are, but I also witnessed the men that we know that we're cool with that are our fathers and are involved. At least it looks like they're involved. I don't know. They're involved. They're changing diapers. They're watching the kid alone while mom goes to work. They're being a parent, I guess you could say, because that realistically, in my opinion, I feel like fathers should do that. It's your kid too. But obviously times have changed. Prior, men used to basically do nothing with the children aside from maybe play every now and then. And it got me thinking, is it wrong to think that way?
To think the way as in like men shouldn't be involved or men should be
involved? Men shouldn't be involved. Like, is that a normal way for men to think? I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I actually discovered something, because a lot of the focus, reasonably so, is always on the women, how the woman's body changes, everything from her brain to whatever cells in her body, like it adjusts, it adapts, it changes. Sometimes it reverts to what it used to be. Sometimes it never comes back.
Yeah.
But I actually discovered that when a man becomes a new father, he loses 20 to 30% of his testosterone.
Yes, I've heard that.
And the closer he is to the child, the more involved he is,
the more testosterone he loses. I've heard that.
And that was pretty striking to me, and it made me understand a lot of the issues that men have when it comes to parenthood. Men who don't see their testosterone drop are more likely to run the other way. Even if they want to be involved, they're more likely to say what Nelly says, where I'm going to do what I got to do over here. You take care of the baby, and once the baby gets a little older, that's when I'll become more involved. That testosterone makes you do that. And on the other hand, men who do see the testosterone drop, they're more likely to, want to be changing the diapers, want to do the feeds and everything like that. So even biologically speaking, and the reason why I find this crazy is, to me, it always made sense that the woman's body changes if you just delivered a baby. But it's crazy to me how the man's body
changes as well.
Yeah. And it impacts everything.
Yeah.
It impacts if you stay a risk taker or not, how aggressive you are. It also impacts libido. And which I thought was interesting, because one of the things I've heard women say is, like, my spouse doesn't look at me the same anymore. Whereas that's actually biologically, if you have lower testosterone, your libido also drops.
You're not
so
interested as much,
attracted to you, but it's all these little chemical, biological things that are happening within a man's body that makes him change in a little bit. And that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about redefining masculinity after having a child. Because I think it really does change. Because for the first time in my life now that we have our second, and now honestly I'm in a better headspace than I was after the first one, I realized that, and I take honor or pleasure in that, I should be in a more supportive role. Whereas before, and I think a lot of men would agree, like, you never see yourself as support. You see yourself like, I may be helping, or I'm leading, or I'm doing whatever it is, but I never said to myself, I'm gonna be in a position of support where whatever it is that you need, I'm going to try to figure it out. But what are your thoughts on that, as far as like the testosterone dropping and what everything?
I've heard that. I've always known that. And it's interesting to me because it makes sense for it to happen to the woman, because obviously she's carrying. But for the men, it always mind boggles me, because I'm like, how? why? What about the situation causes that to happen to the man? But it makes me think of like pheromones, how like sometimes some way, shape, or form, like chemicals between two individuals can kind of like communicate.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on this. I'm probably using the wrong terms, but our body can kind of like animals. Whenever like their mating calls, like sometimes they'll chemically be able to like smell something or whatever the case is. I've learned that humans, to some extent, experience situations like that.
Yeah.
And I guess childbirth is one of them. Like having a newborn in the home, in your presence, it naturally just softens everyone around to be able to nurture and care for that child. So it makes sense in that way. So, but it's interesting.
Actually, sorry, go ahead.
But I never connected it to other factors that may occur after having the kid, like the man gaining weight. Like, you know how people talk about that with their like, yeah, you know, I'm pregnant too. Like my wife is pregnant, I gain weight with her. I just naturally thought like, yeah, you're eating the same way she's eating probably. But there's also scientific proof that men gain it because of the fact that their testosterone drops. And so that naturally makes them start to gain like a little bit more weight. And the more children that men have, I heard their testosterone levels keep on dropping. Yeah. And I was like, that is so interesting.
That is,
but I've never made the connection, is what I'm saying.
I found out why that is. So the more testosterone you have, the less you care about the emotions of other people. Like that's actually scientifically
That's crazy.
Backed up.
Wow.
Like a man who has high testosterone, if his woman is crying or if his spouse is crying, he's less likely to care about her tears if his testosterone is high. But what's crazy is when he watches his spouse cry, it actually lowers.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. That's what I learned. Yeah,
it's a process that has to happen. It's not initially gonna be. It's not initially gonna be like you're crying or you're upset, and he looks at you and say, "Let me try to understand." It's going to be, "I don't understand this." So testosterone is made to fight. You know, it's made to be aggressive. So when your body, as crazy as it sounds, when your body
so
knows
the
you're
emotions
around a child,
kind of like
it lowers your testosterone.
Yeah, that makes
so you're
sense.
not as aggressive. You're more patient. You're more loving, just so you can help nurture that baby. And the more you're around that child, the more your testosterone drops for those reasons. Back to what you said about Nelly, I totally understand that because even this knowledge I didn't really understand like before having a child. I thought my job is literally, you know, just be a dad, just play, you know, teach and stuff. And that's what all dads or prospective dads or new dads have in mind. It's more so, I can't wait to play wrestling with you. I can't wait to play with you. I can't wait to run around and, you know, play sports with you and make you laugh. I think that's where we envision, we envision ourselves as dads. So during that newborn stage,
there's nothing I could do.
There's nothing I could do. It's actually, I don't want to use this word scary to make it seem like it's over, like I'm being extra, but it's pretty scary because you feel like you're going to do something wrong. And that's something I saw where I think the survey said 72% of dads feel like they're going to do something wrong or something to that extent. So it does feel scary, and add the testosterone to that, it makes you want to say exactly that. Like, this is not my job yet. I don't know what to do. The times with our first one, when you did leave me alone, I tried not to show it, but I was always terrified. I would be looking at the clock, you know, just trying to distract myself so the time could go by faster. I didn't feel like I was actually prepared because I didn't see it as my role. But now this time around, again, redefining masculinity.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, been there, done that. But also, I fully accepted that this is my role as a father. My role as a father is to be a nurturer. And I saw a few studies that also showed that when you become a new father, your reward system changes a bit, where if you used to find pleasure from doing outside work, now that pleasure comes from being with your kids. So
interesting.
And I think society doesn't always paint that as masculine.
Yeah, they don't.
Like, this is something that
I mean, times are changing nonetheless, but on a general scale,
changing. No. But I still hear it nowadays where if you're the man, you're supposed to. There's a certain thing a way you're supposed to carry yourself with your kids. You're supposed to be stern all the time. You're supposed to be the disciplinarian, you know, so many memes and people making jokes about it where, you know, the mom's going to call the dad for help. So you naturally think like, I have to be the stern one.
Yeah, they have to follow my rules.
Yeah, they have to follow my rules. But I've realized that one, everybody's different. And
that
two,
part.
masculinity doesn't always mean you have to lay down the law, like they would say.
Yeah.
But I think masculinity is you're there for your spouse and your child emotionally. You're there for them, you know, mentally. You're supposed to do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that they're good on all those levels. And this is something it may not be a big deal to you, but it was a pivotal moment to me. You didn't even know it happened. And again, it's nothing crazy. But you know, as you always say, you know, breastfeeding, you know, it takes a lot out of you. And there was one night I was up here, I think I was out, it's like 2:00 in the morning. I was dumb tired. And you were saying you're hungry. And I knew what was going to happen. You didn't know what you want. So I went through a list with you and I was like, do you want this? We have that. And you're like, no. My natural reaction is like, girl, I'm tired. I'm going. Like, I'm tired. I'm going. But then I reminded myself exactly what I'm saying, where I think my role is to be supportive. And part of that support is just figure it out. So I stayed up and that's when I did the whole rap thing for you that you like.
Oh, the Peter rap.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And again, it's nothing, but I was proud of myself.
I know that joint is banging.
I was proud of myself at that moment because I feel like I was doing something supportive versus saying like, listen, I laid out all the solutions. I took that mindset and I tried to apply it every day in every situation, and not just with you, but with our daughter. And I look back at it now and I'm like, man, I wish I had this thinking before. I thought my role as a man was to do whatever it is stereotypically a man would do, or whether to take out the trash, like little random stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I never thought about stepping out of my role and being the one to try to provide the meals or being the one to stay up late to do whatever it is that needs to be done. And I say this all the time, where a lot of us men, we think of relationships like teamwork, where I'm not playing your position, you're not playing my position. If you're a center and I'm a shooting guard, we're not switching positions in the middle of the game. That's the mindset I had at first. That's what I think masculinity tells you, is you're partners. You do your role, I do my role, and we do well when we come together.
But you don't think to some extent that is the case, though? Because they're opposites, right? Yeah. Femininity and masculinity, they're opposite, and they kind of step in certain aspects that the other cannot.
Yeah.
So don't you think to some extent, like, you are doing your part, I'm doing my part, and we come together and we make it work? Nonetheless, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree that like both individuals can step in where support is needed to help the other. But at the same time, don't you think each person has their main role, so to say?
If I had to redefine masculinity after fatherhood, I would say no to that idea.
Yeah,
because I think that idea is where I could easily start to go back to the previous mindset.
Okay.
So now the way I see it is, whatever it is that needs to be done, if I see it, I'm just going to do it no matter what typical role role it is. So I would caution against that, at least for myself, because I would hate for it to, I'm trying to, you know, I think masculinity post fatherhood is being whatever it is your family needs to be, no matter what it is.
Okay, I feel that.
Yeah,
that I agree with. Do you think what you're saying applies for a specific period or season of after having children, or is it like, you've had children, this is what it is forever?
I think you've had children, this is what it is.
Really?
Forever. And the reason why I have that mindset is I've spoken to enough parents who are way older than us to know that, you know, kids will always be kids. Even if they're in their 20s or 30s, there's still something about being a parent that makes you be a parent. And I never want to get to the age where I'm like, now we can go back to your role, my role. And I think men are fortunate, no matter what happens biologically or chemically to us after being fathers. I think men, we're fortunate enough to still be at somewhat of a baseline level. The way I see it is, if you're at a baseline level, it's because you have the flexibility to be things that your loved ones can't be for a moment. I would say, at least I adopted the mindset that it's going to be something long term. And I like that. I like
that statement you just said, actually. Say it again for the people.
Men are fortunate enough to always be at a baseline, and I think that's not by accident. I think God has given us that ability to be whatever it is that we need to be, and I think it's a godlike quality.
Let me say it for you: to be whatever it is
yeah.
that your significant other can't be for a moment.
Right, be at the
I
moment.
like that.
Yeah. And I think it's a God quality. Like when God spoke to Moses, and Moses was like, "What should I tell him your name is?" He said, "Tell him I am," which means I will be whatever I need to be. And I think every man carries that in them. Where if you need me to be soft spoken and supportive, I'm going to do that. If you need me to be a hunter, I'm going to do that. But that only comes, I think, when you step into the role of fatherhood. If you're always on the outside looking in, it's easy to say, all they need to have is money. And for our first child, that was my biggest stressor. If I could somehow make the money, then
you would hire someone to do the parts that
everything else will flow into place. And that may not be wrong, but I don't think that's
it's not the only solution.
Yeah, it's not, and I don't think that's actually the best solution. Like my mindset shifted this time around, whereas I need to make more money so I could be more present versus I need to make more money so I can
hire the help.
Yeah. So I would say that that's the biggest redefinition of masculinity is you move from a more aggressive role to a more softer, supportive role.
I commend you for actually shifting to that mentality. It actually reminds me of a conversation I had with an individual where they said they were talking about like cooking or something, but they have the view that nonetheless they don't have children yet. And I think having children is like a life hack. Honestly, it just takes you on this road of like seeing things in different perspectives. Yeah. But this person was basically saying like, if I'm providing, why do I need to do this, that, and the third? And I think that's a constant like struggle within our generation because we're trying to find ways to do things differently than the past generations did. But at the same time, we're trying to also hold on to these gender roles as tight as we can. And I genuinely don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think at the end of the day, there are life skills. And everyone should have life skills. Whatever those life skills look like, I think everyone should have them. That doesn't mean that you need to do them regularly, but you should have the capability of doing it should you need to.
Yeah. As an example, you're saying like every father or every person, but especially your father, should know how to cook. And
I do. To each his own at the end of the day. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to. Yeah. Like, you know how to cook a meal. You're not a chef.
You was talking about that last week when like, these scallops are banging. This damn movie.
Yes, he can throw down on some scallops. But you're not a chef, but you do really well for someone who doesn't cook on a regular basis.
Is that a compliment? Yeah, I don't even know.
It's a compliment. No, for real. You can. There are specific dishes that I know I can count on you to make.
Yeah.
Specific dishes, and that's okay. I love that for you.
Right,
but the point is,
season we'll see.
But the point is that you do it when you can, and it's edible. It's good. You know, I'm not even gonna say it's edible. There are dishes that he makes that are really good. Okay, you can make some dishes, but like when I think of a cook, I think of someone where like they can cook. You know, But what I'm trying to say is, I think there are specific tasks in life that are life skills. Everyone should be able to go out there and work and have and get a job. Everyone should be able to cook a meal because you need food to eat. Everyone should be able to know what kind of things to purchase at the grocery store because you need food to eat. Like, I think there's just certain things that are life skills. Everyone should be able to do laundry. It's a life skill. You need clean clothes. You need food. You need a home. Everyone should be able to figure out how to fix something at home or at least clean the home. Like, it doesn't mean that you're going to have to do it regularly because based on the dynamic of your relationship, you may have to do it and you may not have to do it. It really depends on the season and how things work for you. But I do think at the end of the day, all those things are life skills. If you don't know how to do it, it's your responsibility to go out and learn how to do it. That's my opinion. I just feel like you should be able to survive and be independent enough. If you don't have that significant other or that person to do it for you, you should be able to survive. And when I say survival, I don't mean buying food every day because what that's going to do is leave you broke.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that too much to ask for? I feel like
I agree with, but again, I don't think that mindset comes naturally to a lot of men.
Mhm.
Sometimes it does. There's
Mhm.
at least I didn't start cooking because we got married and anything. I tried to make food when I was
Yeah.
back in my mom's home. I wasn't doing it every day.
What were you cooking? Spaghetti?
I was cooking spaghetti. I was cooking chicken.
Eggs? You was cooking chicken?
Yes, I made chicken before.
When?
I mean, my diet changed like 10 years, so I made chicken before.
I'm teasing.
Yeah. Whatever I saw Chef Ramsay cook, like I tried to make it. Honestly.
That's good, and I
But,
commend people who really like go out there and try. Like that's really what it is. It's the effort.
But it's not, especially in the Haitian culture. That's not a traditionally masculine
that
thing
part.
to do. Even taking care of your health.
Mhm.
You know, now that I'm a father and a father of two, I see the importance of taking care of my health. Not that I didn't do it before, but I put more of an emphasis on it now. Like I'm looking for multivitamins. Like that was that's something that I would have been interested in, but I was never the type to really be concerned about. No, I need to go see a doctor just to get my blood drawn or whatever the case is. And I think things like that only comes from being a father. It's not traditionally masculine. Like everybody knows, men don't go to the doctor.
Yeah, why is that though? It's so confusing.
It's like, what is there to? I just need my blood tests, honestly. And if I feel good, I'm good. Like. I think honestly, on a baseline level, men have a problem taking direction.
Yeah, I was just about to say being led.
Yeah,
because it actually reminds me of a friend that I have who's a trainer, and he said training men is probably the most annoying thing to do. He rather train females, and it's because men. This is his words. Yeah. Men have a difficult time taking direction from other men. Yeah. And it's funny because I think you said this or we've talked about this before, but in the church, right? You'll notice that in church, there's a lot of women. Yeah. And it's like, where are the men? Why don't men go to church? And again, it goes, I heard someone make that statement. I think it was you. Was it you?
Yeah, I think I heard it from somebody or I saw it.
Oh, yeah, where they made the statement. I was like, that's interesting, where men have a difficult time taking direction from authority, I guess. Like, I guess because you guys are innate to lead, so it's weird being led by another.
Yeah, we're better in partnerships than we are like, you're my leader. It's not in us to be followers. I think that's what it boils down to. Take it back, even health-wise, I find myself taking more priority of my health. That's not something traditionally masculine I would have done before marriage.
Facts.
But
thank you.
Now that I'm a father and now that
you want to live for the kids,
role,
right?
I want to make sure that 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, whatever it is, years down the line, I'm there for my kids and I could be healthy. I'm not there to be
burden.
A burden to them. But something else I wanted to cover about how masculinity changes is with the lower testosterone, you're more prone to actually be depressed. And
I think I've heard that. I didn't do enough research to say it out loud, but I've heard that.
I have to say this because I'm sensitive to what women experience before, during, after childbirth. But I saw that 8 to 10% of men actually do experience postpartum depression, but it comes later on.
Interesting.
So they're more likely to experience postpartum depression 3 to 6 months after the child is born. So they may be good for the first.
Is it because that's the moment where they realize, dang, life ain't going back, huh?
I don't know. I don't know. In my experience, I think it could be that's when we probably start to experience fatigue. Like we could start off strong, saying like, I'm going to do the late nights. I'm going to do whatever it is. But it
catches up to you.
And again, there's like a biological war going on where your body knows you should have a lot of testosterone to survive, but then at the same time it's trying to lower your testosterone to be nurturing. So I think that battle sometimes it results in that postpartum depression, which is why I personally started to very early on I was doing research on supplements that I could take, or I spoke with a friend of mine who informed me about what they call iron therapy, how working out, for men is really
it does.
therapeutic. So I started doing that as well.
And you're doing great.
Thank you. But all these things caught me by surprise, and it made me better appreciate the men that do step up and are fathers. And it made me appreciate how life works, where there might be a hurdle that you have to pass. Yeah, your testosterone is lower, so you might feel more stress. You might feel a little more agitated. You might even feel like a failure. But it preps you in a way where instead of getting your rewards from outside for doing traditionally manly things, you now start getting your reward from
inside your
from
home.
from inside your home and doing more what they call traditional feminine things, like changing the diaper or like being soft spoken with the kids. We joke about this before, but I think our daughter is kind of uses me as a punching bag sometimes.
Yeah, she does.
Like she likes to, and it's weird because she'll say something and I'm like, the Haitian in me is telling me to say something to you.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to, you're trying to practice your aggression or
No,
whatever.
she does. She definitely does. And I mean, you wrestle with her and stuff too.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, I could do this with Dad.
What makes me happy is sometimes like she'll have a certain tone with me, and the Haitian in me wants to be like, I'm about to put you in your place
Sometimes
right now.
I'll be stepping in. I'll be like, don't talk to your dad like that now.
But I had to realize, again, this is my supportive part, that, you know, she's a young girl. She's in an environment where we're very nice with her. She has to practice her aggression somewhere. She doesn't watch TV like that.
Yeah.
So I heard this other father, a coworker, actually say this, where he had a teenage girl. He said the other day he picked her up and she didn't greet him nothing. And then he's like, so this is what we're doing? And she said, yep. And she just put her headphones on for no reason. And then he goes,
sounds like the wind blow.
They were, but he goes, if this is what you need from me right now, this is what I'm gonna be. And I like that. And I never forgot that. And even at this age, I'm practicing that. If this is what you need from me right now, then this is what I'm gonna be.
To an extent, though, because I don't want to make it seem like, there's respect too.
Right. Even afterwards, like she'll come to me and she'll randomly say, like, you know, you're the best dad
she does
ever.
Yeah.
And I know she doesn't mean it. And like you said, I always try to control it. Like she'll speak a certain way, and I'll be like, after I let her vent, I'm like, don't talk to daddy like that, right? But again, the masculine part of me it would tell me to be more aggressive. But now I've redefined masculinity to fit into a supportive role in whatever that looks like. And I wish I could go back in time and give myself this advice.
But you're still leading. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, I want to make that clear because I know people will probably look at this and throw some jabs in the comment.
No, because being whatever you need to be includes being a leader.
Right.
Includes being aggressive. Includes being soft. Point is, I'm not going to be
rigid.
So rigid in my path that I'm saying my job is to make as much money as possible, is to take care of the maintenance or the whatever kind of maintenance in this house, is to fit that masculine role, and then I go to sleep and do the same thing the next day. Versus now, my job is to do that and whatever else I see fit.
I love that for you. But most importantly, I love that for me. Okay. I love that. I think that's dope. And I commend you for actually like noticing that and making that shift. I wish a lot of men did the same, because it would probably save marriages and families if they were willing to adapt. At the end of the day, what I got from everything that you were saying is that you're humble enough to notice when you need to adapt according to the situation. And that doesn't make you less of a man or more of a man. It just makes you what your family needs at the moment. And I think that's ultimately the goal, right? As a leader, you find ways to be what it is that the people who are following you needs you to be, whether that's a boss of a company, you know what I mean, or a leader of a family or a pastor of a church. You are what the people need you to be. And I think that's dope.
Yeah.
You're dope.
Oh, thanks.
And we're out. Thank you for spending your time with us. We hope you gained some knowledge today that'll promote poise in your life. We have new episodes uploaded every Thursday right here, same place, same time. Until next time, you can follow us on Instagram at NOIRPOISED Podcast to stay connected. That's NOIRPOISED Podcast. We'd love to hear your feedback.
And remember, your wisdom is power.